Up next is our directional flow control valve. Our directional flow control valve has two ports on it. Either one could be an inlet or an exhaust port. And what you'll notice here is that we have an arrow on the side that is shaped. One side is fat and the other side is skinny. So what this means is that if air flows this way, it will flow pretty much unrestricted. You'll get lots of flow in that direction. If it flows upward, it will flow in the restricted pattern, or the, indicating the smaller arrow. And that flow is restricted by this knob down here. We can adjust how open that valve is, and we can crank it all the way down to close it, or we can open it just a little bit to create a very small hole for that directional flow control valve. My apologies for the airplanes flying over. Little extra noise there. It has two parts to this knob. There's a nut that we can back in, and the reason for that is so that we can kind of lock this knob in place. Once we set it, we can, it's not adjustable. The interesting thing about this is that it's not just a flow control valve with an adjustable orifice to restrict airflow, but it's a directional flow control valve. And what this means is that inside there's the addition of a bypass. And the bypass is essentially a check valve which allows air to flow in one direction. When the air is flowing in this way and out through the block, it's flowing unrestricted. So it's going through the check valve and opening the check valve. When air flows this way and out through this port, it is closing the check valve. The check valve is not allowing air to pass through. As a result, air is forced through the restricted opening, causing the restriction in flow. And this is important because we might want to control the speed of a cylinder in extension, but not during retraction. So it allows us to control speed in individual directions. When we look at the symbol here, we see that bypass with the check valve. So a normal flow control valve is just the part up at the top. It looks like a restriction or narrowing of an air passageway. And that's what a flow control valve symbol is. We add the slanted arrow, just like we saw on the pressure regulator, to mean that it's adjustable. We can change the size of that restriction. And the part down on the bottom is the addition of a bypass, an additional passageway with that check valve in line.